Have you ever pondered over the concept of wealth? Is it merely an accumulation of money or a reflection of how effectively we utilize our resources? Welcome to the exploration of wealth creation, a journey that goes beyond the mere accumulation of money. Picture wealth as a vast ocean, with money being just one of the many rivers that flow into it. Yes, the river of money is significant, but it's not the only source of the ocean's vastness. There are countless other streams often overlooked that contribute to the ocean's depth and breadth. These streams symbolize resources, time, knowledge, skills, relationships, and even your physical and emotional energy. In isolation, they might seem insignificant, but when harnessed and directed towards a common goal, they can create an abundant stream of wealth. In the grand scheme of wealth creation, understanding the value of these resources and mastering their utilization is a game changer. It's like being a master weaver, skillfully intertwining various threads to create a beautiful tapestry. The threads represent your resources, and the tapestry, your wealth. Yet, often we're so fixated on the thread of money we overlook the others. We fail to realize that wealth is not just about earning and spending money, it's about strategically using each thread, each resource at our disposal, to weave the most exquisite tapestry. It's about understanding that sometimes a thread of time spent learning a new skill or a thread of building strong relationships can contribute more to our wealth than a thread of money. So let's redefine wealth. Let's view it not just as an accumulation of money, but as a reflection of how effectively we utilize every resource at our disposal. Let's strive to be master weavers, weaving together our resources to create not just an abundant stream of wealth, but a life of fulfillment and satisfaction. And so wealth is more than just a pile of money. It's a testament to how well you can use what you have. Consider the story of a man named Jack, an individual of limited means but limitless determination. Jack's tale begins in a small, nondescript town where he was just another face in the crowd. Now, what set Jack apart wasn't his surroundings or his circumstances, but his mindset. You see, Jack had an uncanny knack for seeing the potential in the seemingly mundane. Jack's journey from humble beginnings is a testament to the power of resourcefulness. He started with the most basic resources at his disposal: his time, his skills, and his network. Jack was a handyman by trade, and he could fix anything from a leaky faucet to a broken-down car. Instead of squandering his time, he spent it honing his skills, making himself indispensable in his community. In this digital age, Jack recognized the power of networking. He cultivated relationships not just within his town, but across the country. He exchanged ideas, shared his knowledge, and learned from others. In doing so, he expanded his network, which opened up a world of opportunities. Jack understood that his skills were his most valuable asset. He used them to create opportunities for himself. He started his own handyman service, offering his expertise to those who needed it. He marketed himself, spread the word, and before he knew it, he was in high demand. Jack's business thrived because he didn't just offer a service, he offered a solution. And yet, Jack didn't stop there. He saw the potential in his network and leveraged it to diversify his income. Jack used his connections to invest in other businesses, to collaborate on projects, and to expand his reach. He turned his network into a revenue stream, a testament to his resourcefulness. As Jack's wealth grew, so did his influence. He became a beacon of hope in his community, a shining example of what one can achieve with a little ingenuity and a lot of determination. Jack didn't just build a fortune, he built a legacy. But perhaps the most significant lesson from Jack's journey is that he started with what he had. He didn't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal resources. He used what was at his disposal and he made the most of it. Jack's story reminds us that wealth creation isn't just about money, it's about mindset. It's about seeing the potential in what's around you and having the courage to take advantage of it. So, as we delve deeper into the art of wealth creation, let's keep Jack's story in mind. Let's remember that resourcefulness isn't about having everything, it's about making use of everything you have. Jack's story is a shining example of how one can build a fortune from scratch by merely utilizing what's at their disposal. You see, the magic lies not in what we have, but how we use it. Allow me to paint a picture for you. Imagine two farmers, each with an equal plot of land. One farmer chooses to plant his seeds right away, hoping for a quick harvest. The other farmer, however, takes his time. He first enriches the soil with nutrients, maps out the best spots for each type of seed, and carefully plants each one. When harvest time comes around, which farmer do you think reaps a more bountiful yield? This simple analogy illustrates the power of effective resource utilization. The same resources, when used differently, can yield vastly different results. Our two farmers had the same plot of land and the same seeds. But the second farmer, through careful planning and effective use of his resources, was able to get a much more plentiful harvest. This concept extends far beyond farming. In the world of finance, it's not about how much money you have, but how you use it. A person with a modest income can amass a fortune through smart investments and wise spending, while a high earner can end up in debt by living beyond their means. The key is to maximize the potential of every resource at your disposal, whether it's money, time, or skills. Every dollar invested wisely, every minute used productively, every talent nurtured can contribute to your wealth. In the story of resourceful Jack, we saw how he turned a handful of beans into a golden goose. Jack didn't have much to start with, but through resourcefulness and clever utilization, he managed to weave together an abundant stream of wealth. Remember, wealth isn't just about having resources, it's about knowing how to use those resources to their fullest potential. The power of utilization can turn a handful of seeds into a bountiful harvest, a small investment into a fortune, a humble skill into a lucrative career. As Jack's story illustrates, it's not about the cards you're dealt, but how you play them. Now one might wonder, what resources do I have? Well, let's shed some light on that. Each of us has a wealth of resources at our disposal. And more often than not, these assets are overlooked or undervalued. They're so deeply woven into the fabric of our lives that we hardly recognize their true potential. These are the tools in your toolbox, the aces up your sleeve. They are your time, knowledge, skills, and relationships. Firstly, let's talk about time. Time, my friends, is the most precious resource of all. It's the one thing you can never get back once it's gone. But every tick of the clock is a chance for you to make a difference in your financial journey. With every passing second, you have the opportunity to learn something new, to take action, to make a decision that could change your financial future. Moving on, we have knowledge. Knowledge is power, as they say. The more you know, the more equipped you are to make smart, informed decisions. This could be knowledge about the stock market, about real estate, about business, about anything that could potentially generate wealth. And the beauty of knowledge is that it's ever expanding. Every day presents a new opportunity to learn and grow. Next up, skills. Skills are the practical application of your knowledge. They're the things you can do, the services you can provide, the value you can create. Your skills could be anything from coding to cooking, from writing to woodworking. Each of these skills has the potential to generate income if you know how to leverage them. And last, but certainly not least, relationships. Relationships are the bridges that connect us to opportunities. They're the networks that can open doors to new possibilities. Every person you meet, every connection you make, is a potential resource. Your network can provide you with advice, support, opportunities, and even financial capital. Each of these resources, your time, knowledge, skills, and relationships, are tools you can use to weave together an abundant stream of wealth. They each hold immense value and potential, and when used effectively, they can be the catalyst for financial success. But remember, the key to wealth creation isn't about hoarding these resources. It's about using them wisely and effectively. It's about investing your time in learning and growing, about applying your knowledge and skills in practical income-generating ways, about nurturing your relationships and expanding your network. In the grand scheme of things, it's not about acquiring more, but about maximizing what you already possess. So, how does one tread the path to abundance? Let's embark on this journey together, step by step. The first step is identification. Look around you, within you, ask yourself, what do I have? It could be a skill, a tangible asset, or even an idea. Your resources are not just physical. They can be mental, emotional, and spiritual as well. The key is to recognize them and acknowledge their value. Once you've identified your resources, the second step is management. It's not enough to just have resources. You need to manage them effectively. This means knowing when to use them, how to use them, and for what purpose. It means being strategic and deliberate in your decisions. It's like a game of chess. Every move you make should bring you closer to your goal. The third step is maximization. This is where you squeeze every drop of value out of your resources. It's about making the most of what you have, not longing for what you don't. Think creatively, think outside the box. How can you use your resources in new and innovative ways? How can you combine them to create something greater than the sum of their parts? Now, let's talk about some practical tips and strategies. 1. Keep learning. Knowledge is a resource that never depletes. The more you learn, the more resources you have at your disposal. 2. Practice mindfulness. Be present, be aware. The more attuned you are to your surroundings, the better you can identify and utilize your resources. 3. Cultivate resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable. How you respond to them is what matters. Remember, a setback is a setup for a comeback. Remember, the journey to wealth is not about the destination, but about the path you choose to get there. It's about walking the path of abundance, step by step with patience, persistence, and purpose. It's about making the most of what you have right here, right now. That is the true art of wealth creation. In the end, wealth is not just about financial prosperity, but about living a life of abundance. It's a point that's been touched on throughout our discussion and one that bears repeating as we draw our conclusions. We began our journey with the art of wealth creation, understanding that it's not merely about accumulation, but rather about the intelligent use of resources. We witnessed this firsthand through the story of resourceful Jack, who, despite his limited means, managed to create a prosperous life for himself. The key to his success? It wasn't a winning lottery ticket or a hefty inheritance, but his resourcefulness and ability to utilize what was at his disposal. This theme of utilization was further explored as we delved deeper into the power it holds. It's not always about what you have, but rather what you do with what you have. A single seed, when planted and nurtured, can grow into a towering tree. Similarly, a single dollar, when invested wisely, can grow into a fortune. We also discussed the various tools at our disposal, tools that are often overlooked or underutilized. Time, for instance, is a valuable resource that, when used effectively, can yield tremendous returns. Knowledge, too, is a powerful tool. The more we learn, the more we earn. And let's not forget about our skills and talents, which, when harnessed, can create streams of income. And then there's the path to abundance, a journey that requires patience, persistence, and a deep understanding of the principles we've discussed. It's not a path that's paved with gold, but rather a path that's lined with opportunities. Opportunities that, when seized, can lead to an abundant life. So, as we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've discussed. Wealth is not just about financial prosperity, but about living a life of abundance. It's about making the most of what we have, about being resourceful and utilizing our resources effectively. It's about investing in ourselves, in our knowledge and skills, and in our future. And most importantly, it's about understanding that wealth is not a destination, but a journey. A journey that requires us to be proactive, to be resourceful, and to be persistent. A journey that rewards those who are willing to learn, to grow, and to seize the opportunities that come their way. So ask yourself today, am I making the most of what I have? Because wealth, after all, is not about having a lot, but about using a lot.